There is a substantial risk of loss associated with trading forex, binary options, stocks, or equities, collectively, asset classes. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Trading in any asset classes is not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that investors will make profits, or will not sustain losses. Before trading in any asset classes, investors should consult with their professional broker, financial advisor, or financial consultant to determine whether trading asset classes is appropriate. Investors who trade in any asset classes should only do so if the capital used for this purpose represents funds that an investor can afford to lose without adversely impacting the investor's lifestyle. No trading strategy or methodology is without risk of loss. No trading strategy is risk-free, and no trading strategy can guarantee profits or freedom from losses. Investors risk losing the cost to execute any transaction, including associated commissions or fees. You should carefully consider whether trading in any asset class is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and financial resources. Any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. None of the statements or materials in the Auvoria Prime chat rooms constitute a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell.
Okay, yeah, so a couple of things that I want to go over. Just kind of the psychology, my daily practices. I want to go into some weekly insights as far as price action and some developer settings. I've been tweaking some of the parameters, and I'm really excited. So I updated the folder in the Telegram chat with recommended settings for Pound AUD, Gold, SPX, and US 30. Keenan just updated his parameters for silver, so I'll do a screenshot and do that as well. And so I kind of want to go through my structure. I've had some questions, and I had somebody ask me, when you say mental game about psychology, what do you mean? And it kind of put me in a whirlwind of like, wow, a lot of people are relatively new. And I remember when I first started trading, I didn't understand the psychology behind it. And it's honestly 90% psychology, 80% psychology, 10% risk management, and 10% logic. So strategy. And really, if you can master the mental game, it's really game over from there. So there's a quote that I read every day: a trader who masters patience masters everything else. And I don't remember when I heard it, but I've got a notebook in front of me of quotes that I read, affirmations that I read every day that just reminds me to be patient, not chase trades. It's like surfing. There will always be another wave. And so just reminding myself of those. And you create your reality from your subconscious beliefs, right? So as soon as you start to concretize, positive thought forms, or, I'm a successful trader over and over and over again, it becomes your reality. And I know that's kind of an airy-fairy side to the idea of trading, but I really like integrating the spiritual sort of mindset stuff with trading, because it's not one or the other, it's both. And for me, trading isn't necessarily about the money. I've learned so much about myself. It's I don't think of how can I make as much money as possible. I think of how can I become more self-realized. So what is this going to do to me today that's going to change me tomorrow? And what can I do today that's going to change me to, improve my trading? And so, it's really crazy when you start to dive into the mind melting psychology behind trading. So I kind of want to go into that a little bit. Pitfalls, lessons. A big thing is having confidence in your entries. Not trying to rush. When you break normally when I lose trades, I'm breaking the rules. And so the biggest thing is following the rules, finding a strategy, figuring out the rules, and following those rules. And we've got those, set out to be really, really simple. Coloring book of trading, right? That's what Zeus is in a nutshell. And so pitfalls for me, lessons that I learned: over leveraging, chasing trades. Those are really the two biggest things: over leveraging, chasing trades. Proper risk management, proper risk to reward, follow the rules. Those are really the big things that just to keep kind of in your back burner. And as these calls progress, we can kind of dive a little deeper, and you guys can ask questions as well. So as far as the psychology goes, greed, non-attachment, frustration when you lose, chasing trades, not cutting losses, move on to the next setup. Find the humor, find the play in trading. It's supposed to be fun. So when you think about being a kid, when you're playing, there's no attachment to it, right? You fall off the swing, you get back up, you get back on, go down the slide. It's kind of a similar concept, right? But when you go into it with attachment and with greed and with me, I, it changes your entire experience, and it makes it really frustrating. And when you're frustrated and you're in that ball of greed, it doesn't make things better. One trade is over, move on, go to the next one. Even after your wins, the hardest thing is to be not attached to your losses, but equally as hard not attached to your wins. It really humbles you when you can kind of step back and go, okay, sick. Like it wasn't me. It was just the rules, right? I just followed them. Next trade, because then you can really get into this egoic, like I'm the best, and then you lose trades, and you're like, oh, dang it, I'm the worst, and it's just like roller coaster of emotions. So really honing in on your emotions. And that kind of goes into the practices, the affirmations, the breath work, the meditation. You don't have to be this airy-fairy out there woohoo person to meditate. It's just really about focusing on the moment, whether it's yoga or you're lifting or you're running or reading. It's integrating that form of meditation before you trade. I find it really valuable. I'll wake up, I do my thing, brush my teeth, go to the washroom, shower. I sit down. I've got practice meditation that I do to the like half hour, 40 minutes. I read my affirmations, I read my rules, then I sit down and I don't look at charts before that, and I sit down and I trade. And having a morning practice is so for me at least, it's so valuable. Because then you're not just getting up, looking at charts, and that's all you do. So just making it a practice, right? It's like going to work. You get up, you shower, you do your thing, you make your lunch. There's a momentum, there's like a fluidity to your life, right? You come home, there's got to be flow. So really important stuff. Yeah, and as far as finding humor in the losses, right? You lose just means your stop loss works. That's, I heard that when I first started trading, and at first it pissed me off, and because I obviously don't want to lose, right? But just about having risk to reward. If you've got a 2-to-1 risk to reward, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, you can lose more than you win and still be a successful trader. You can be terrible, you can be wrong. This is the only job that you can be wrong more than you're right and still be employed, so to speak. If you were a doctor and you were right, 10% of the time, or a lawyer or police, like you wouldn't have a job, right? So finding the value in what this is exactly. It's supposed to have fun, right? Like I said, when you play, you're not attached. So this is the question. I was dealing with somebody, not dealing with them, but I was speaking with somebody on our team in AP, and they were like almost beating themselves up because they were not holding trades for long periods of time. And the question that I asked is, what kind of trader do you want to be? Do you want to be a swing trader? Do you want to sit in front of the screen for a million years and ride really long entries? If you do, that's fine, but what kind of trader are you? For me, I'm a scalper. I want to be in and out as fast as possible. The way that I look at it is, market makers move the market, banks move the market. I want to wait for the market to move and then get in and out before anybody even knows I'm there. So nobody stop hunting. I've got, I won't go too deep into that, but I want to get in between those big moves. And so when that happened, when I asked that question, it clicked for him. He went, holy, okay, sweet. So I used to do that where I'm like, man, I can't sit in front of the screen. I can't watch a 1 hour chart or a 4 hour chart because I don't have the desire to build the patience for that. And I realized that what I wanted to do was scalp. I wanted to look at the lower time frames, and that's when things started to really come into play for me. Is just figuring out what kind of trader do I want to be? Do I want to sit here watching the 1 hour chart, or the 15 minute, or the 4 hour, or whatever, and be in trades for hours, days, weeks? No. I want to sit down for a session. Usually I trade from like 7 a.m. until noon EST, and so I'm sitting in front of the charts. Even if I'm not trading, I'm sitting, I'm studying. I'm also building robots, so that it consumes me. But I'm sitting in front of the screen for that long period of time, but I'm not in trades, one trade for that long. And when I walk away from the screen, I'm not in a trade. I'm finished everything right in front of me. So just figuring out what kind of trader you want to be. When you ask something in a question form, usually you get it in an answer, right? Which is why I formatted the Zeus rules in a question. Is there an arrow? Is everything green? Is everything white? Is the market overbought, oversold? Because then you go and you ask, and no, yes, no, yes. And then when you have a bunch of yeses, you're good to go. So turmoil. what I've gone through is over leveraging, chasing trades, and not being satisfied with 1 or 2% a day. 1 or 2, even 0.5% a day. 3 days a week is insane. Put that in the risk calculator. In 5, this is a lifelong skill set. If it takes you a year, 2 years, 5 years to become a successful, profitable trader, that's okay. You don't go to med school and become a doctor overnight. You don't go to law school and become a lawyer overnight. So this is the same thing. So treat it like a profession. It's really when you step back and get rid of the get rich overnight kind of mindset, it makes a world of a difference. So for me, it's really been honing in on risk management and just being satisfied, being okay with walking away from losses, which I still struggle with, and being even more okay with walking away with wins. Which is not an easy thing. So, so one of the difficulties that I've found is holding positions. And so I want to go into the kind of the strategy behind that as far as what we do with the tether. And so I've kind of mixed the scalping side of trading with a swing concept. And so I'll go a little deeper into that, and I'll go over the settings in a second here. So getting out of your trades too early and not cutting losses soon enough. It can be detrimental to your account because you're 10, 20 pips in profit and you just get out, and then you let those trades run 20, 40, 60 pips in drawdown. It becomes, your risk to reward becomes not profitable. So I'll go into that in a sec here. So that's pretty much all I wanted to go through as far as mindset stuff. I'll probably structure the beginning of the call like that and say the same thing over and over and over again. It might seem redundant, but repetition is what creates success, right? It's how you become a good trader. It's how you become, emotionally fit. It's how you become physically fit, going to the gym. It's just repetition. And so the more you can say, I'm healthy, I am active, I am healthy, I'm active, I'm healthy, the more you can become healthy and active, right? So it's the same thing with trading. So create, what I suggest, I've got a notebook here. I'll write down all my affirmations, all my trading rules. I read them every day, just turn it into a daily practice. It will change your whole trading experience. So let me see here. I'm gonna try this out and see what happens. You guys can see my screen. Yeah, so if you see me, wait, no, I have to do this on OBS. Let me see here. Yeah, I think this is right. Give me, in the Telegram, in our Zeus Telegram, can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Because I can't.
I can see your screen, bro.
Yeah, okay, sick, sweet. Okay, so I'm going to go through, actually, I think I'm still in a trade. I am, sweet. So I've actually deviated outside of my trading regimen for currency pairs. Every time I do this, I just end up losing money, but it's actually been going really well. So gold, I picked a commodity. Let me see here. So I got a commodity, a forex pair, and 2 indices. And so these are the settings that I'm running for gold. And so at 10 pips, it'll set stop loss to break even. 20 pips, set stop loss to 10 pips. And then I ride the trade. And so basically, no matter what, if it goes 20 pips, you've locked in 10 pips. So take 10% at TP1, take 10% at TP2, and ride the rest. And so you can see, like, I was in this entry today. Where did that go? So I locked in 10 pips there. So there's just these really like little 10, 20 pip scalps. And so it keeps you, I don't want to take the entire bag at 10 pips. What I'm trying to do is kind of integrate this, break even as soon as possible. If it comes and retraces, then so be it. But then you get those huge moves like this. Let's see here. Like this absolute meltdown. So basically after 10 pips, you're at break even. After 20 pips, your stop loss is at 10 pips. And then from there, you just follow the tether down. So you would have had, if you had a 20 pip stop loss on this, on 100 pips, so you had a 5-to-1 risk reward. Is that right? Yeah. 5-to-1 risk reward. And you get these re-entry arrows, right? So the idea behind this, actually, sorry, you wouldn't have got 100 pips. You would have got kicked out of the tether. So 80 pips, and you got your re-entry arrow. So I'm constantly moving the stop loss with the tether. So integrating my own trailing stop loss. Pound AUD was a little bit weird this morning, but I've got this relatively the same. I've been fluctuating between changing from 100 to 50. I'm at 100 right now. So same concept. 10 pip TP1, 20 pip TP2, and instead of 200 pips, I'm doing 100 pips. You miss out on these, like, the same thing though, the tether, right? Your entry, you would have gone up 30 pips, but you would have closed out with 12, which is frustrating because you could have got double the amount, right? But it really, it builds that patience, because then you got entries like this where it just rallied up. This is last night. It went for 100 pips. You would have got kicked out just under 100. So let's just say, yeah, around 100, right? So you're 25 to 1 risk reward, right? So those entries where you get kicked out at 10, 20 pips, they can be really frustrating, but you're almost guaranteed to lock in 10 pips every time. 10 pips, set stop loss to break even, 20 pips, stop losses at 10 pips. And so the US 30 trades this morning, I got out at 800, so 80 pips. Let's just talk about it in like real pips, not pipettes. So around here, and then I got another re-entry in here. Wasn't a Zeus arrow, but I think there was a Zeus arrow on SPX. Maybe not. I think and see. So this is a great example happening in real time. And so there was re-entry, and so it almost came and wicked me out. My stop loss. Actually, I gotta move that up. Oopsie. So by integrating those really early break-even points, so this is the last point of support. I'm just going to place it right below there. Might kick me out, and I still end up locking in probably good, I don't know, 18 pips. And so as far as the range on US 30, I've got it set a little different. And this is difficult for me too. So I've got it set at 2,000, which is in, like, if you're talking about pips, it's 200, 600 pip stop loss, which is 60, 200, so 20 pip break even, 40 pip TP2. So same kind of stop loss, or same kind of concept as far as risk management. So as soon as that arrow hits, you're almost on US 30, you almost break even immediately on that 200. So you've locked in a risk-free trade. It goes 400. You've locked in 20 pips. So I really like that. And then you can let the rest ride with the tether. And you can see what this did, right? If your stop loss, you might have got wicked out, but what is this? This is a 300 pip trade right here. I'm good with anywhere from 80, so 800 to 2,000, because if you've got a 600 pip or a 60 pip stop loss on US 30 and you ride it 20 pips, 40 pips, and then 800 pips, you've got about a 1-to-1 risk to reward versus trying to run this 2,000 pip run. Which is tricky for me because, I got out around this area at 800 pips. I was happy with it. Oh, are we going to get kicked out? Not quite. I was happy with the trade. It was a 1-to-1 risk to reward, so you can kind of play with it, but it really is game changer just moving the tether. You're in trades for longer. I think I was in this trade for like 45 minutes. And so when you can have those little scalps, but ride them at the same time, ride them for as long as possible. Risk to reward is the name of the game. Risk management is the name of the game. So applying this concept on the smaller time frames, you get entries that are sniper entries. You're never going to find this on a 30-minute. I'm not, at least, unless you're like an insane institutional trader, which is not me. So to be able to ride these, like even these re-entry arrows, I didn't get in on these. The rules didn't apply, but you would have been break even almost immediately, and then you would have had your TP, your stop loss at 10 pips. So you locked in, 2-to-1 risk reward in the opposite direction. And so I'm gonna go over. Let me see. So I've been trading gold, pound AUD, and then these two indices, and I really like it. It's a lot to pay attention to. Having 4 pairs open at once. So if you are a new trader, even for like Corbin and I have been kind of shooting back and forth, and it's, we're both doing the same thing, and it's a lot. And we've been by no means, do I know everything about everything, but having a little bit of experience doing this, from jumping back from chart to chart, I need more than one screen at the end of the day. So these are the 4 best pairs that I would say to run. If you're adding one more to gold, I would say add SPX. It's a little less volatile. You can have a little better risk to reward because your stop loss The range is a little farther away. If you are going to add a Forex pair, go pound AUD. So gold, SPX, pound AUD, and then I would add US30 afterwards. So basically, it's weird. So SPX, the amount of time it takes for SPX to go 5 pips is the same kind of volume that it takes for US30 to go 25. So your break even a lot sooner on SPX on US30, but your stop loss can be a lot farther away on SPX. So something to take into consideration. I'm venturing out. I'm starting to trade other pairs just because there are some days where gold just isn't doing what I want it to do, and so I'm not taking those trades. It keeps me out of how do I say this? Keeps me out of trades that aren't going to be profitable and allows me to look at more things at once. But like this morning, I feel like a kid in a candy shop because I'm like, I've got a gold trade open, a pound AUD trade open, US30 and SPX. And I don't recommend this necessarily because gold and US30 and SPX are all correlated. Generally speaking, when gold goes up, indices go down and vice versa. When they both go in the same direction, you know there's some sort of manipulation. So if you're going to lose on gold, you're most likely going to lose on SPX and US30. So you're, but I mean, when you win, right? So something to keep in mind of if you're trading pairs that are not necessarily all going in the same direction. It's just something to, keep in mind. So I'm just going to go over, just going to mark up some highs and lows of the day. We'll go over gold first. Later. Let's see. I'm just going to bring up a regular chart. I'll move you guys out of the way. I'm all set stop loss. Still 15 pips locked in. I'm okay with that. And what it does, it allows you to kind of walk away. Like I haven't been paying attention to that trade for a minute. I mean, granted, this is on a demo account because I'm practicing for FTMO. So in real time, I probably wouldn't have traded this morning if it was like that. So it's just something to keep in mind. It just gives you risk-free trades a lot sooner. Okay, what do we got going on? So our low of the day, I mean, it's lower now, but our low of yesterday was 1791. What do we got? Oh, that was our low. Our high of the day is 1837. Where are we here? Oops. I might have to close these other charts out. And so I'm just going to go through some market structure stuff, kind of zones that you guys can keep in mind. Where were we? 1837. I'm going to go to a higher time frame. Nope. A little higher. There we go. 1837, and then we'll go, let me see here, it was the week. And I'm going to integrate, what did I just do? We're integrating this into Zeus, so it'll be right on your screen, which will be a game changer. Cool. So, was that the week? So the low of the week was 1805. 1805. High of the week was 1847. Let's just say around here, 1847. And then the month, the low of the month, 1753. Let's just say around here. And then the high of the month was 1829. There we go. So these are some zones to pay attention to. You can see that Lows, doesn't really matter which one's low and which one's high. At one point, the high of the week, there was a high that was here, it broke it. Sorry, let's see, let's go like this. There you go. So these highs and lows, at one point in time, this was a low, and then it became a high. And at one point in time, a long time ago, let's go like this. See, this was a market high at one point, and then it became a low. So these zones are a great place to look for reversals or for bounces. So now, right now we're at a low, but at one point in time, it was at a high, right? So let's see here. Oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and, where are we? Sorry guys, I'm just gonna mute. There we go. There we go. So what you can do with these zones is you can use these as support and resistance. Obviously, Zeus will mark this up automatically for you. But what you can do is when you mark out, like let's go, I'll change it to SPX. Let's see. So the low, oh, this is a perfect example. 4269. 42. Where are you? Right here. No, that's not right. Sorry, guys. And this stuff is relatively boring. Like it's not fun, but when you're making money, or that differently, when you're making trades, when you're making winning trades, it becomes fun. 4269. Where are you? 42. There we go. Right here. So this at one point, this was the low of the day. Let's go to the high. The high of the day, 4429. 44. And I'm still getting used to price action as far as US 30, and like I know gold like the back of my hand. I can tell you the price from 2016 all the way up till now. 2006 all the way up till now. But US 30, pound AUD SPX, I'm still getting used to it. So this for me, this is great to kind of give a ballpark of where price is going. If I look and see, gold's at 1843, that's definitely broken highs for the last month. It was almost at 2,000, if not broke 2,000, like within the last 6 months. It gives you an idea of like where you can see it price. Like, holy shit, it's at 17 something. Well, I know which direction it's probably going to go, and Zeus will give you confirmations based on that, right? So you can see at one point. So this was of yesterday, today. This is the low of the day. Was that the high? Sorry, guys. So this was the low of yesterday and the high of yesterday. And so you guys can see that where we are in price right now, this was a high, and we got some up arrows from Zeus that you can almost not guarantee, but you've got more room to move, right? So let me see here. Zoom a little bit. Where did this come off of? So what was this? Was 4353, or was the last high 4353, quite a bit lower. There you go. So it came and whipped the high of the day, and then around that same point, you get these down arrows down. You get these down arrows, or they're down arrows. So you can use kind of this institutional way of trading and looking at finding supply and demand zones and use that to, I guess, predict the arrows. Not predict them before they happen, but realize if is this going to be a good arrow? What direction? Basically, all around, what direction am I expecting price to go to, right? So snap these out. And if you can do this before you trade or at the beginning of the week, yeah, it broke all lows. Like it'll make a big difference in your trading. Let's see. So the high of the month was 4817. Holy crow. Yeah, so we had a nice little meltdown. 4815. Around there. And then the next one, 4697. Around here. And then 4498. So let's just go through each one here. Oh, and there's one more. This is the low of the month. 4387 for the week. Let me see. 4387. Right about there. So, this thing's being glitchy. Pretty soon this will be a little easier because it'll be on your guys' screen too. So the weekly high was here. Around here, 4697. There, 46. That's a little off, but that's okay. Around this area. So that was the weekly high. This was the monthly high. I believe this was the monthly low. This was the daily high. This was the weekly low. So you can see how important these zones are, right? Now, just because it's at a high doesn't mean it's going to break down. Just because it's at a low, like here, doesn't mean it's going to break up. But it gives you a reference point of what kind of positions should you be looking at, right? So it broke every structure, but there is, how do I say this? Indices, I find they don't really respect structure. That's why I like to trade gold, because it does. But even gold this week pretty much broke all structure. It broke through like every single high around like 1843 and just kept going up. And then it broke like pretty much every single low and just rallied down. So it gives you a better idea of where price might be going. But just because it's at a high doesn't mean you sell. Just because something's overbought doesn't mean you sell. Just because something's oversold doesn't mean you buy. So yeah, I'm gonna let you guys kind of play with that, and it's pretty easy. Like if you go into, and a lot of people, especially when they're for me too, it's hard to see structure, but you can see. Let's just go here. Let's go to a higher time frame. You're trying to mark out support and resistance. Let's see, right? So you can see that, well, at one point, there you go. There's some resistance. There's some resistance. There's some resistance. Here's some support. There's an area of support. Let me see. Let's go to something higher. There you go. Here's some support. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This wicked down and came up. This wicked down. Actually, there's another layer here. Let's just go here. Boom. There you go. Let's go to the higher time frames. So just go, when you're marking up charts, just go and do stuff like this. Just play around, make it fun. And then you can kind of predict, sure. you can predict where price is going to go. And obviously you're on the weekly time frame, right? But this breaks down all the way down to the minute. Let's go. Here was some resistance. Here was some support. There's some resistance. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? So as far as support and resistance, it's basically, where is the ceiling? How do I say this? Think about like a glass ceiling. The more that it hits the ceiling, the more likely it is going to break. So like right here, for instance. There you go. There's a little mini one, right? Maybe around this area. So you can see these resistance and support zones and just scroll all the way back and start to see where price actually respected structure, right? Came to a high, point of resistance, broke through, kind of fluctuated, broke down. Boom, support. And I marked all of these up from all the way up from the higher time frames down. And they're it's pretty easy to mark up. So Zeus will do this for you, but you don't even really have to know the highs and the lows to figure out where support and resistance is. Just scroll. And then what you can do is you can integrate fib into this. And this is a little more advanced way to do things. Like obviously we're at a high right now. So the way you use this, fib, just go to a previous low, which is here, come up to a previous high. There you go. So you can almost, I don't trade like this, I'm not trading reversals, but this just gives you a reference point. Well, we're at a high. It's probably going to come back and fill this, at least this 50% retracement down here, right? But another thing to consider is that one point, let's see, this was a high. This was a high. This was also a high. This came up, retraced. This came up, retraced. This came up, didn't retrace, right? So it's just something to use as a reference point. Practice. When you're bored, go and mark up support and resistance all the way down from the monthly down to the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, and it'll just give you an idea of where price has been, where it's going, and kind of what to expect, right? So I'm not going to go, what time is it? I'm not going to go over the weekly highs and lows of SPX and pound AUD. So you can kind of use those as potential breakouts for next week. Just gives as a reference point of where price might be going. But yeah, when you're bored, like when I'm bored, I'm back testing. I'm looking at what price did for the week, price action, what I think it's going to do next week. And the biggest thing is just follow the arrows. You can, when you can do stuff like that at the beginning of the week, Keenan has great calls on Sundays where he does some market structure, some analysis on predictions for the week, institutional trading. So when you can sit down and prepare yourself for the week, kind of like you would, do a meal plan or plan your workouts or, go on a trip, you've got an itinerary, right? Same thing with trading. Make sure you're mapping out and you figure where the highs and lows are of the week and where you anticipate pricing to go. If you don't want to do any of that, follow the arrows. It's really, really that simple. When there's an arrow, is everything green for a buy, red for a sell? Make sure price isn't overbought, make sure it's not oversold, and follow your TDI rules. And so, I feel like we've created a system that's relatively straightforward. Keenan's got amazing boot camps in there, in the AP, in the Zeus section for the, what am I trying to say? In the AP Live, the Zeus section part of it, all of his boot camps go through pretty much everything you need to know. I know a lot of people come into trading and they are, let's see here. No, that's not it. There we go. A lot of people get into trading and it's really intimidating, especially when you're talking about support and resistance, lot sizing, pip counting. What we've done is we've made it really, really easy because you don't have to count pips. You just plug it in the Zeus OPM. You don't have to figure out what your lot size is because you got preset settings. As long as you know your risk, it's really, really easy to be successful with this thing. And all you really have to do is follow the arrows and make sure everything's the same color. And then on top of that, everything that comes afterwards is just compounding knowledge. It's just figuring out lot sizing, pip counting. You get to do all this stuff afterwards. There's a group of us that started trading together. And we had to do all this stuff manually. I remember being up and messaging people being like mind blowing, because the difference between US 30 and SPX and gold and Forex, there's similarities, but they're all different, and trying to count them and lot sizing and just like pulling my hair out. And so, you know, having the brain melting epiphany going, hey, I'm going to create a system that makes this really easy. This is, yeah, it's cool. It's cool to be here and obviously see you guys be successful with it and make it really easy. So everything afterwards, as far as I know, all the boring stuff, because it's not necessarily fun, but what it does is it propels your trading. It accelerates your trading, and you become more confident in the markets and more successful. Obviously, you know, no income claims, but then you can start to create this element of financial freedom and just mental clarity and freedom, right? It's come to the point now where when you lose, well, move on to the next trade, right? So, yeah, I hope that was super straightforward. I'm going to open up. Let me see. I'll open up the Zoom now. If you guys have any questions or comments or you know, things that you're having as far as success or pitfalls or what have you. So if you have any questions, feel free to turn your screen on. Nobody? No questions? No comments? All right, sweet. That was easy. I'll just go over my list here. Breakouts, what happened with the markets, blue risk management, recommended settings. That's pretty much it. Sweet, guys. Okay, well, if nobody has any questions, I said everything I needed to say. Oh, somebody's jumping on now. Yeah, if nobody's got any questions, then yeah, I said everything that I needed to say, and I hope you guys have as much fun trading with this thing as we did building it, because again and again, it's you know, I go to this space of gratitude. It's really cool to see everybody in the chat. You know, somebody messaged earlier that they were like 200 pips in profit, and so it's cool to see. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's cool to see everybody really loving this thing, and yeah, it's cool. So thanks. You know, I've got a lot of feedback from you guys, things that you want to see, and you know, the issues you guys are having. So keep coming, keep firing those at me, because we want to obviously, you know, produce a product that you guys like and is constantly expanding. So we have some, we've got some really cool updates coming. We'll be able to have swing entries. Yeah, I can do that. So we're going to have it so that we can, you can have scalping and swinging all at the same time. You guys see my screen? Yeah. Right now, if you set 2 cells at the same time, you, actually I'll go like this. If you have 2 cells at the same time, they have to be the same parameters. Google Drive. Actually, you know what? It's in our, so if you go to your Zeus Traders chat, and just come up. There you go. Dev presets. I don't have silver in here right now. I've got a video in here that explains the parameters, but these are the advanced settings for this is Forex, beginner settings for Forex, and then it goes intermediate, and then it goes through the rest of them. But I'll go to mine, the ones that I have. What was I saying? I feel like I went on a ramble for a minute. Oh yeah, so we'll have presets, or sorry, we'll have, you'll have the ability to set swing trades and scalping trades at the same time. Oh, whoops, yeah. So these are the settings for SPX. So 1000 pip, full TP, 200 pip stop loss, 100 pip TP1, 200 pip TP2, take 10%. And then for gold, load. Uh, 200 TP, final TP, 20 pip stop loss, 20 pip TP1, 40 TP2. Same thing every time. Take 10%. Take 10%. And then what I noticed for indices is that the OPM isn't, it's not taking micro lots. It's not taking, some of you guys might not even have the option for micro lots. But what I noticed, let's see here. Was this US 30? Yeah. So I had to change it so you can't do 0.25 or it wouldn't take it. It would go, what was it? It would just set stop loss to break even. So once TP1 was hit, it wouldn't take partials, it would just set stop loss to break even. And the TP2 is hit, it doesn't take partials, it sets stop loss to break even. So I'm curious, for those of you guys that are trading on micro lots, like starting lot size being 0.1, I'm curious if it's taking partials. So let me know if there's a glitch on that. So, and then SPX. Same thing, similar. 1000 pip final TP, 200 pip stop loss, 100 pip TP1, 200 pip TP2, and then take a little bit less than 10%. Yeah, so what we're gonna be able to do is if you set a buy right now, 2 buys, even if you have 2 different screens up, Zeus, and you have 100 pip TP1 on one, 100 pip TP2, and you want to break even at 20 pips, take 80%, and break even at 40 pips, only take 1%. It'll pick one. Zeus OPM will pick one set of parameters and make both trades that way. So we're going to update it so that you can set, you can cut your risk in half, set 2 trades, one will swing and one will scalp. And so we can have a little more flexibility as far as that goes. There was something I was going to say. Oh, crap. I don't remember. It's all right. Clearly it wasn't important. Yeah, so where are we here? OBS. Yeah, so I think that is it. If nobody has any questions, oh, and we're going to integrate. I want to integrate trailing stop loss so that it will set stop loss after break-even points. It'll set stop loss 5 pips above the tether or 10 pips above the tether, and so you can have some flexibility as far as risk management goes. So if you have things like that you want to see roll out, hit me up, hit up Keenan, because like I said, it takes a village, right? We had a really great beta group that helped us make this thing, as good as it is. And so, yeah, as you guys see, there are glitches or you want to see things improved. And let me know how the VPS is functioning with more than like 3 or 5 trades, 3 or 5 charts open. We're in the midst of creating a dashboard so that you can have, so you don't have to have a million charts open to see what entries are where and what time frames. So, but yeah, other than that, if I got nothing else to say. If you guys don't have any questions, if you guys do have questions, put something in the chat, or turn your screen on. If not, yeah, same time, same crazy time, same crazy place next week. Keenan's got his calls Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. The call schedule's in the chat. It's on AP Live as well, so make sure you guys are tuning into that. And then, yeah, feel free to invite people on this call, and I'll double check with AP, make sure that's okay. I'm going to be doing Zoom and OBS just because I find that OBS is a little laggy or it kicks out. I don't know if it's my internet or what. So we're going to do both. If you have people that have questions about Zeus, or they want to come and see kind of what it's about, this is open to all of AP, not just Zeus. Our trade rooms are open to only people that have Zeus subscriptions, so that will be strictly on OBS. Just because obviously we want the boot camps and all the Zeus calls to be exclusive to Zeus members. But if you guys want to share this call, like I've got my AP team, I send this Zoom link out. They won't be able to access it through OBS, but yeah, I'm more than open to show people what we got going on, gives them market structure analysis, and some people are they just kind of want to get their feet wet and they want to see what exactly it is that we got going on. So I'm game to open this call up, and if you guys have people that you want to sit in on with and show what we got going on, because I think we've got a lot of really intelligent people on the project, also trading with Zeus. They're having amazing results, so why not share it, right? So, but yeah, other than that, I got nothing else to say. So hopefully that was really straightforward, and I will, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
There is a substantial risk of loss associated with trading forex, binary options, stocks, or equities, collectively, asset classes. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Trading in any asset classes is not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that investors will make profits or will not sustain losses. Before trading in any asset classes, investors should consult with their professional broker, financial advisor, or financial consultant to determine whether trading asset classes is appropriate. Investors who trade in any asset classes should only do so if the capital used for this purpose represents funds that an investor can afford to lose without adversely impacting the investor's lifestyle. No trading strategy or methodology is without risk of loss. No trading strategy is risk-free, and no trading strategy can guarantee profits or freedom from losses. Investors risk losing the cost to execute any transaction, including associated commissions or fees. You should carefully consider whether trading in any asset class is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and financial resources. Any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. None of the statements or materials in the Auvoria Prime chat rooms constitute a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell.